Tonight, a political firestorm erupts in Washington and Arizona. A newly elected Latina Democrat, Adelita Graava, is being blocked from being sworn into Congress, despite winning her race 2 weeks ago by a landslide. Why? Because her signature would be the crucial 218th vote, forcing the release of Jeffrey Epstein's secret files.
Democrat Adelita Graava of Arizona won a special election 2 weeks ago in Arizona's 7th Congressional District. She'll replace her late father, former Congressmember Raul Graava, in Congress. After she's sworn in, Graava is expected to become the 218th vote needed to force the Justice Department to release more of its files on the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. On Tuesday, CNN's Manu Raju questioned House Speaker Mike Johnson about why she hasn't been sworn in.
Graava isn't backing down. She says Arizonans deserve representation, and she's ready to sign the petition that could finally unseal Epstein's hidden files.
This speaker set a precedent in the last 3 specials to swear people in under 24 hours from the time of their election. And now we're working on day 14 that I've been duly elected and ready to work. Yeah, so much of the push during the presidential race had to do with transparency and we needed to get these Epstein files out. And then as soon as this administration is in office, all of a sudden there's nothing to see here. And the American people want to know what is in those files, who's implicated, and the victims need an opportunity for justice and a voice. And they will be at the Capitol today, many of the victims talking about why it's important for them to be able to be seen and those that perpetrated crimes to have consequences.
The stall comes as survivors prepare to rally at the Capitol. They want exposure, accountability, and consequences for the powerful who enabled Epstein's empire.
Well, it's really shameful. I'm sorry that we've caused all this trouble for Adelita Graava. She should just be sworn in. But the reality is Thomas Massie and I had a press conference scheduled this week. The survivors were going to fly in. We all assumed that Adelita was going to be sworn in on Tuesday, was going to be the 218th signature. And what happened? Well, they didn't want that. They knew that if she was sworn in, that we would then trigger a vote. You would have a vote within 7 legislative days. The survivors were coming on the Capitol. That would get national attention again. And the reality is you'd probably have 50 to 60 Republicans on the floor vote for the full release of the files.
Graava's father, Raul Graava, was a progressive giant in Arizona politics. Now his daughter is stepping into the same fight. Transparency, immigrant rights, education, and inclusion. But until she takes her oath, her district has no voice.
Those that cannot speak for themselves had a voice with my father. And so much of what he did and the advocacy that he pushed for was about transparency and about standing up for those who can't. And so this administration is just ignoring the will of the people in general, sending in troops into communities that are not asking for the assistance, just completely trampling our rights.
Meanwhile, Trump's administration is escalating raids, National Guard deployments, and attacks on press freedom. Critics warn this is an assault on democracy itself.
They're unconstitutional, but they're also cruel. I mean, when you're looking at raids that are parading on the streets half-naked children, when you have raids that are separating kids, snatching them away from their mothers, when you have the harassment of not just women and children, but American citizens, the American people have been horrified. And what we have to understand is that Trump is going to keep pushing the envelope. If we don't stand up, he may say, let's have ICE agents outside the polls before an election. This is an attempt to intimidate and harass people of color in this country, people who are the children of immigrants in this country, and we need to stand up.
In Arizona and across America, the fight isn't just about one swearing in. It's about power, justice, and the future of freedom itself.